Let's take a look at it. This is the Taylor Corn graphic. Top 5 stayed the same.
Ah, shocker.
Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Alabama in at number 5.
Ohio State did get more first-place votes in the Associated Press than they did in the coaches. 46 of the 63 went to Georgia, or the 61, excuse me. Let me make sure I've got my math right here. Maybe it's 62. I don't know why it would have changed from last year, but it is 62 for some reason.
Sometimes it's 64. I think they have some people that fall off.
Okay, so 46 of the 62 went to Georgia, 15 of the 62 to Ohio State, and a lone first-place vote to Oregon. Those are the only 3 that got first-place votes. In the coaches poll, Texas got 1, and Michigan got 1.
Yep. So Alabama is 5th. Everybody okay with Bama at 5? Any disrespect there?
No. People are like it's their worst ranking since 2009. They're number 5 in the country. I mean, maybe is their worst ranking. By the way, spot for spot so far.
Yeah. Ole Miss 6, Notre Dame 7.
That's where it changes next.
The Penn State one?
Penn State, yep.
Penn State 8, Michigan 9.
They
a little
flip
flip-flop.
those 2, yep.
Florida State is 10. Missouri is 11. Then comes Utah 12, LSU 13.
Those flipped, so they're 4 different.
Clemson 14, Tennessee 15. Oklahoma is 16. Oklahoma State is 17. Kansas State 18. Miami is 19. Texas A&M is 20. It's like election night. You're telling me that precinct has flipped in the last hour. Arizona is 21. I just don't see what everyone's seeing in Arizona.
I think they see quarterback coming back and a topsy-turvy Big 12.
Kansas is 22. USC 23. NC State 24. Iowa is in at number 25.
They flipped the order of NC State, USC, and Kansas, basically. Otherwise, it is exactly the coaches poll, which is what happens every year with the AP. What that is you get a lot of voters like, oh, boy, I am vote for vote with a coaches poll. I'll flip LSU and Oklahoma State.
Just to surprise
They'll never
people.
notice.
Oh, do you think so? Some of the media people were, we got one more weekend to get to the beach. And then they get the Ralph Russo email. Remember, I need your AP poll by Tuesday. And they're like, oh, God, what was the coaches poll?
Well, I think naturally you're like, I think Ole Miss is 6. I mean, is that way out of whack? Well, the coaches had them 6. I'll leave them there. So then, Scott has shown you the side-by-side. Penn State and Michigan, those 2 got flipped. Utah and LSU, those 2 got flipped. And Kansas State, Oklahoma State got flipped. And then the last 5 right there are just all the same teams, just a different order in the last 4 with Kansas, NC State, and USC.
So all 25, and Taylor knows this because of the graphics, but all 25 in the preseason coaches poll are in the AP top 25, just a different order.
Yep.
Same 25 teams.
Same 25 teams ranked. So what are the odds of that? What are the odds that everybody goes and votes and the same 25 are ranked?
This is when I would do a pop quiz of questions not in the book. I'd get the whole class back in there and was like, we're going to do this over with. There's a lot of looking at everybody's piece of paper here. Can you pull up also receiving votes?
I've got it right here, my friend.
Okay, first team just missed the top 25. Who is it, Brown?
The Huskies of Washington.
Oh.
They had 123 points. Iowa had 148. So that's your gap right there.
Okay. Give me the read through 30, 27, 28.
Louisville will be 27th. Virginia Tech, 28. SMU, 29. Memphis, 30. I'll keep going for this reason. Boise State, 31. Auburn, 32.
Auburn, 32 there.
You got Kentucky with 12 points. Florida with 11. South Carolina with 10. So for those that don't know, that means somebody voted, a lot of people actually voted, a lot of people voted Auburn in their top 25. A few people put Kentucky in there. About the same put Florida in there, and about the same put South Carolina in there. It's crazy to think that all those teams got votes, but they all did.
Well, technically, if you put Kentucky, if one person could have put Kentucky 13th.
That would be 12 points, yeah.
That would be 12 points.
Seems kind of high. I would think more people maybe had them in the 25 spot right there, 12 people maybe.
Right.
Or 10 people had them at 25 and somebody had them 24.
So you're getting point totals, not
you get 1 point for 25 and 25 points for 1.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're unanimous number 1, whatever that point total turns out to be. Nebraska got votes. Syracuse got votes. Miami, Ohio got a vote. James Madison got a vote. Air Force got a vote. Troy got a vote.
Wow.
Colorado got 2 votes. So somebody potentially had Colorado 24th, right?
24th.
I would, yeah. So a lot of people get votes, but only 25 get ranked, and it's the same 25 that the coaches ranked, oddly.
Charles says the runner-up to the national championship not ranked. Has that ever happened before? Even TCU was ranked last year, and they were runner-up, and they got blown out.
Probably not. I think Auburn in 2014 started the season 15th. Does that sound right to you? Well, no, they were the runner-up in 13. I think I'll look where it is, but doesn't that sound right to you? Weren't they about 14 or 15, I think?
In 2014 preseason?
Yeah.
They were definitely ranked.
Oh, they were 100% ranked. Yeah. I'll tell you where they played their first game. They were
because when I went to Clemson, which I think was after
that was week 3, wasn't it?
In 2011, after the national. Oh, you're talking about 2014.
Yeah, I am talking about 2014.
Auburn started 5th in 2014. It says Lamb, I believe it.
God, they did. I did not remember them being that high.
Because remember, you had Nick Marshall back, right?
They lost. They were all the way up to number 2 when Mississippi State beat them. Yeah. I guess I was thinking about 2011, but they were the national champion that year.
They were national champions in 2011, and they were still ranked pretty high when I was with them at Clemson. Clemson.
As the national champion, Auburn started the season in 2011, number 23. God, I did not remember them ranked that low. Actually fell out. They kind of slopped around against Utah State, if you remember. They fell out. They beat Mississippi State, jumped back in. They were 21st at Clemson when they lost 38-24.
Yeah, that was their first loss.
Yep.
Right. Overrated, underrated teams. Pull up, if you will, for me, full screen again on the AP Top 25, and we'll just go down the road. I won't get. We'll get 5, but give me just the first team you think is overrated. Brown, most overrated team.
I don't think Ole Miss will finish 6th in the country. So by virtue of that, I think those top 5 will finish in or around the top 5. Now I think Ole Miss will be in the 10 to 12 range. So it's not badly overrated, but I think 6 is a touch overrated for the Rebs.
Who's an overrated team, Emily Grace?
I would also say Ole Miss, if we're going by your outlook of if they'll finish in that spot. I think right now they look really good. I think there's a lot of excitement there. Notre Dame at 7 is interesting to me, I would say.
When you look at their schedule, though,
it's favorable.
It is favorable. They could finish the year 7, maybe not be the 7th best team in the country, but could easily finish there with that schedule going into the playoffs.
Those are my 2.
Most overrated team for me. I'm going to go. I know Missouri's schedule is easy, but I'm going to go Missouri. You're literally going to have to show me, Brown.
But I say this, Jim, with that schedule, they're at 11th. If they finish 10-2, where do you think they're going to be ranked?
They're going to be ranked
higher than 11th.
In the top 11, for sure, yeah.
I get you, what you're saying. I don't know that they're the 11th best team in the country, but when I look at that schedule, I think they could certainly finish there.
Give me another one, Brown. Who else do you think maybe is overrated? I've already mentioned, I'm going to throw Arizona. I don't think Arizona finishes the season ranked.
Overrated. I'm not sure. Michigan would have to be 10-2-ish to be 9th. I don't think Michigan gets to 10-2. I don't think they're badly overrated at 9th, but I don't think they'll finish.
But if they're 9-3, where are they? 12,
that's what
13,
I'm saying.
14,
they're probably 12, 13, 14. So it's not badly overrated. I got a couple bad underrateds for you, though.
Yeah, I have underrated as well.
Okay, let's do this. Give me an underrated, guys. You guys have an underrated?
I got 2 of them.
EG, start us off.
All right, I gotta bend this way to see what I'm looking at here. I think A&M might be a little underrated, and we've talked
20?
At 20. We've talked about it a little bit, and I think that's one of those teams that could really be a surprise to people. I think that talent-wise,
Jacob disagrees with you. Jacob
A&M
with a K.
seems a little high.
A&M seems a little high in the mybookie.ag.
I don't know, because then you're saying Miami is too low, but I do think that A&M and maybe Tennessee, I think they could be above Clemson. And then some people are saying LSU is overrated. But again, I've had my eye on them.
So at 13, you think LSU could be better than that?
I think LSU could be better than that, but there's a lot of questions. I want to have the LSU conversation after the season with you guys because I've really been on the LSU bandwagon.
Yeah, I like LSU too, EG. But it seems boom or bust with Nussmeier at quarterback. And I know Kyron at receiver is supposed to step in, and it's wide receiver you, but I just don't know. I mean, you're replacing Malik Neighbors and a tradition of great wide receivers. Yeah. Do they have that guy again, and can Nussmeier deliver?
I've got 2. I think Kansas State will be better than 18th at the end of the year. I think this has potential to be a 10-2 team. 10-2 out of the Big 12 is going to have it higher than 18th. I think they can contend. A lot of people are giving that Big 12 playoff spot to Utah. I think Kansas State can get that Big 12 playoff spot. And a team that is not going to be as good as the ranking I'm about to tell you. That was a gun firing West Virginia?
Boomer Sooners.
Oh, Boomer Sooners?
Oh.
Nope.
With their schedule, it's going to be hard for them to be 16.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, if they're 16th, that's probably 9-3 with that schedule, or might be 8-4. Iowa is going to be better than 25th. Are they better than the 25th best team in the country? I don't think so, but that Iowa schedule will have them higher than 25th.
I don't know, Brown. Forrester, can you give me the? I sent you a Iowa tweet. Did you get that? I don't know if you did or not.
Is it about the pig?
No, it's not. It's Little T actually found this. Here it is. This is from Warren Sharp, who's covering Iowa football. Iowa's QB1 versus his own defense in a scrimmage. Cade McNamara, healthy again, number one. He threw the ball 24 times in their scrimmage, one-on-ones. He had 20 passing yards.
I'm not surprised by this.
8 completions,
okay.
0.8 yards per attempt, 33% completion, and 1 pick six.
Oh.
Their defense is traditionally good now. I want to point that out, that they got a good defense.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's McNamara's unofficial statistics against Iowa's defense. 8 completions, 24 attempts, 20 yards, and an interception for a touchdown. The first big play of the day was the Hawkeyes defensive back Quinn Schluty.
That sounds like a
intercepting
Hawkeye.
a McNamara pass and taking it to pick six from Warren Sharp there on Twitter.
Okay.
Little T sent that to me during the show and said, check this out.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. There's a reason Cade McNamara could only transfer to Iowa, right? I mean, McNamara could have transferred a lot of places. He ended up at Iowa. All right, but you would think he could transfer to a lot of places. He ended up at Iowa. I'm not saying that Iowa will be top 15 good, but I am saying with this schedule. All right. I
Let's
get
hear it.
All right, here it is. I mean, you find me the losses. Illinois State, they host to start the season. Iowa State, they host. They host Troy. They're at Minnesota. I mean, that's not a layup. I think Iowa probably wins that game. After a bye, they're at Ohio State, and they're going to lose. But then they host Washington. They're at Michigan State. They host Northwestern. They host Wisconsin. They're at UCLA. They're at Maryland, and they host Nebraska. I don't see a ton of losses there. I don't think they're going to be very good, but I do not see a ton of losses for Iowa on that schedule.
I think there's 4 there, Brownie.
Where are they?
If you average 0.8 yards per attempt.
I know one will be at Ohio State. They're going to lose that one.
I think maybe Nebraska is a loss.
It could be. I mean, that's at the end of the year and could be for a play. I mean, that could affect the playoff. I mean, if Iowa is, a one-loss team going into, they may not be able to get in the playoff with 2 losses with that schedule.
Yeah,
it's a bad. I mean, it's a favorable schedule for them.
Iowa State, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Maryland, Nebraska. There's 5 they could lose.
I'll tell you what. No, they could lose them all, Jim, with as bad as they are on offense. I'm just saying I don't think they will. There is one ranked team on that schedule right now. You understand that, right?
I do.
With both polls, which, by the way, have the same 25 teams in them, surprisingly. One ranked team, and it is Ohio State.